The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome to another gorgeous day at the headquarters of Technical Trading and Investing, TFNN.com. I am your host, David White, for the Power Trading Hour. I feel the power. Do you? Hopefully you feel the power. Another gorgeous day. Sun's out. Gas at 302. We'll get into that a little bit. We're doing the countdown here like Casey Kasem, getting down to the gas below $3. I almost feel like I won the lottery. It's just something that, tell you what, it's a few things that just bug you. And that's paying for an ATM fee, an extra $2 because you don't have the ATM. And the other one is kind of that whole thing of high gas prices. In the scheme of things, probably $4 or $3 gas probably costs me $50 a month, something like that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 75. So yeah, I guess it's a decent amount of money. But it just coming down a dime makes my day. I don't know what it is about it. Probably the thought of ever going back and racing again and go blowing through $400 or $500 worth of gas on a weekend is pretty interesting. And let me see here. We got a few things going on. Let me get them set up. And one of them is someone had been playing with my system here. So what we're going to do is change here. Maybe we've got the going correctly now, hopefully. Oh, there we go. Someone flipped screens on a previous episode of TFNN here. Okay, so what had happened today? Well, they tried to push the market up a little bit, very light volume. I put a special report out about 11 o'clock. I think it was about 11 o'clock. There was still less than a billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. Not too, about right at the same time. We were, I think, about 1428, something like that. And we were looking at, how can I say it? Looking at probably testing that 1424 to see whether it would stay. And then we trotted out the usual suspects, Mr. Bomber, the Speaker of the House, and the President of the Senate. And we had, I think, we had a guy that looked like he was about ready to cry a little bit, but came out and did a decent job of stating his position, but a little weird. Then we had the equivalent of the kid that gets the flaming bag of dog poop and lights it and rings your doorbell and runs off. And that was about it. And that was enough to pretty much break the market. But the two leaders of the House and the Senate pretty much not doing too much to reinforce a real thought that we're going to get anything done. And from then on, it's pretty much been down. Let me actually go take a quick look and see what we have right now. But what was it? 1417 on the S&P cash. Any close below 1424 is yet another sell signal. Yes, we've had plenty. We've had them since about 1395 and higher of just a ton of different stocks. But they really started coming in heavy above about 1393. We started seeing a lot of volume roll off. This was kind of, I'd almost call it a blow-off top if there was any volume, but I'm going to call it just a short covering squeeze on a lot of stocks that were just ridiculously short out here. And we're continuing to see a lot of people continue to try to push those particular stocks out there, a lot of the Momo people, but I think eventually we're going to see the bottom drop out on a lot of those particular stocks. We've got about 2 billion shares today, so not a great deal of volume. We're going to go through the rest of it, but I suspect we're headed down probably about 1390 for expiration, 1385 on the S&P cash for a week from next Friday. So not a huge move down. I think it is the start, though, of a lot of selling to happen in next year. Bomber. I hate people that their names are hard to pronounce. Why is that? Anyway, we've got, he had a nice little chart out there if you haven't seen it, and spending is the problem. Of course, everybody else looked at it and said, just hand me another check and a pile of blank checks, and let's just keep writing checks out. But as we can see, at least their chart states that the problem is money. I thought about how do you get through to people that won't believe that you just can't spend recklessly and forever. And it made me think of Mr. Creosote. I don't know if anybody remembers Mr. Creosote. He was the guy in The Meaning of Life at the very end of it, who was about, about 800 pounds. And John Cleese came over to him and he said, well, I've had like 14 ducks and 15 chickens and a snake under glass for dinner tonight, and I couldn't eat another bite. And he says, I've got a wafer-thin mint, sir. If you haven't seen that movie, you are missing something. But it's like that, just a super glutton, and you're 800 pounds, and can't we just spend one more dime? It just seems kind of sick, almost a sickness to me. But I thought about it. It is like someone that doesn't know that they're so gigantic and that they're going to die, but they've got this kind of sickness. They just got to eat, or in this case, they just got to spend, and there's no talking to them. There's no reasoning with them. They may know that they are, but 5 seconds later, it's people that live in the now. But what can you say? We're going to spend every dime that our kids could ever earn. If we don't wake up and smell the coffee. Is it smell the coffee or smell the roses? I think it's smell the coffee. I'll mix my metaphors more later. Solar City came out today. SCTY is the symbol on it. One of the big founders of that is Elon Musk, the same guy that's involved in the car company and the company sending space shuttles and all that kind of stuff. Let's see, SCTY. This thing came out way under, not one SCTY, came way under subscribed, and they had to drop the price down to about $8.50 or $9 or something like that. I think is where it opened up to. Opened $9.35. But I've talked about these solar companies before. It is very difficult for me to see how this company's ever going to ever make money. And the problem is exactly they amplify all the problems with solar electricity for business and what can you say? Just the whole business at all. You put some solar cells on your roof, you can't directly hook it into your electrical system. So you've got to have a box there that converts everything back and forth. And of course, sun doesn't shine at night, so you got to have batteries to store it. You've got to have a system. But here's their services. Company designs, finances, installs solar energy systems, performs energy efficient audits and retrofits buildings, charging stations for electric vehicles. Company has 1,600 employees. Is there a small business for this? Yes. If they could drop the cost of solar cells to about 25% of what they are today, it would be about equal to how can I say, it'd be about equal to the price of electricity right now. But when you think, if you were going to spend $10,000 for solar cells, that's a lot of price drop to get them down to about $2,500. We are talking with Roger in Melbourne. How you doing today, Roger?
Hey, pretty good, David. I wanted you to take a look at GAS. Thought, we could blow some of that out of the tailpipe and put it right back into the tank.
GAS.
Yeah.
And I'm popping that up now. Okay, AGL Resources.
I don't know what it is. It's GAS. It's gasoline.
AGL Resources, yeah. If that's the same, I just want to make sure we're talking about the same talk. Okay. And what are you thinking about doing here with this?
It looks like a short to me, especially if we're having a gas war.
I tell you what, I haven't heard anybody else except maybe me and Steve talk about this. Maybe someone else has on TFNN. But is it happening elsewhere, anywhere that you know of?
Not up here. What's weird is up here it really isn't. Gas is like, I don't know, $3.50, $3.49, and I've got 3 refineries within 30 miles of me.
I just keep looking at this, and I just keep being amazed that the gas war's gone on for at least over a week now. I thought it'd be like a one-day thing and it would be over. I was glad that I got 20 cents off because they were having a gas war. I was sure it was going to be over a day later. And it did. I mean, they're just going down a penny at a time every day, each one. And there's again today.
I'm surprised it's happening at all.
It just tingles my spidey sense. There's something in there that makes me think that there's something bigger to this. And I always tell the story that a lot of times it's something little that actually triggers everything else. The prime example is in 1962 you couldn't find a 12-volt battery in all of Russia, and there was a giant shortage, and CIA tracked it down and found out that every battery in Russia went into the submarines, and they'd all left their pins at the same time. And that was the impotence to go out and track down other things and finding the missiles in Cuba and all that. So there's always kind of a little spark a lot of times that just tells you something's going on. And this is just, it continues to go out here. Now, when we look at AGL Resources, which is gas, you had some fairly strong down days, but you're kind of into that right now. The down day of November 2nd, you had about 378,000 shares down. And you've got a high volume low out here, which is not too bad. On a longer scale, could you still get out there and track that 36.99 low on May 21st? You could. I'm thinking that it is a possible short. I'm thinking that I'm pretty sure I've seen better ones out there though in this sector.
There are a few better ones. So
I would be looking at that. But I know Tom last night was talking about going short some energy sector on his show, and in fact I'm already 100% short, so I really don't have anything to throw at this thing. But it looks to me like everything I look at the crude chart and everything looks to me like crude wants to go down to $65, and I don't know how soon it's going to do that. But that would be the adjusted price from where it took off at $49 and started the huge crude rally from that it's about $48 or $49 if you go back and look at the continuous contract. You want to stay on the line or anything else?
Sure.
Okay. We'll be back in a minute. And you can give me a call at 877-927-6648.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally, we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and are fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Just wanted to get back with Roger in Melbourne. You still there?
I am.
Okay. I went through a bunch of stocks here. We have to break here for just a second for a Spot announcement.
Okay.
Thank you, Spot. I can hear him in the background. Okay. So anyway, what do you have there? What kind of mutt do you have?
I have 2 Basset Hounds.
Okay. Sounds good. Anyway, I went through a bunch of stocks, and why I think crude is going down, I don't see them as the weakest stocks out there. I went through all the stocks in the same sector as gas, and there's some weakness in there. I'm just not seeing the same kind of... I'd like to see maybe 20% down on a lot of those stocks. And I think if you're catching these stocks that are already ABCing down, I'm almost looking at stocks that are probably not going to, they're probably good high risk reward stocks, but they're not going to give a huge amount back to you. So the only thing I'd say is that I'm going to go through a few of the stocks here today, but I think that you've got some stocks out there that could give you a lot more bang for your buck. I'm thinking a lot of these stocks have already, at least some of the gravy's out of them, but we can go through them. Anyway, I want to thank you for the call, Roger. Maybe look through some of the stocks we do in the second half of the show here today. And we've got another caller, and it is AJ from San Francisco. How you doing, AJ?
Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. What do you want to talk about today?
I have a long position in XPP, and I'm just wondering, what do you think about it for next couple of weeks?
Oh, I think you got a giant sell signal here is what I think. It is, just for those people that don't know, 2 times the daily performance of the FTSE China 25 index, right?
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, some titles on my chart don't come out with all the stuff that should be in there, but you had a huge gap down, and that gap has just been filled yesterday. Are you watching on Tiger TV?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, you can look at the repeat or go back to it when you want. But here's why I would probably say that, where did you get long on this thing?
Well, just a couple of days ago. I'm down 2%, so I'm wondering, cut my losses or stay in there?
I'd cut your losses. I'm, at least the way, I'm 100% short. So there's just going to be very tough for you to convince me this market's going any higher anytime soon. I think we've got 30 or 60 days before you want to be long again in this market. And there's a variety of things, but if you look at this chart, you're going to see that you go back to the February 29th high in that ETF, and then you had a couple of days down, and the volume was okay. But what you have here is set up is a huge trading range, not a bad-looking stock. I wouldn't short it. But you have probably a good chance this thing's probably coming back to about $54, $53, and filling a double gap, or at least trying to fill that double gap. That's where you probably would have been a better long position if you would have thought, the market was going up. But there's like a double gap in the between the 4th and the 5th. And there's a gap that gapped over that actually appears, and you'll see all this on Tiger TV if you want to go, and I'm on channel 14 on it, so you can go back and see these charts. But there was a gap down. It gapped over that gap again on the 5th of December here, and it's probably going to come right back down to that level, about 54, 53, right in there, and that volume's going to tell you whether or not you want to be long this thing again. But I would say you've got an 80% chance this thing's going to hit 53.50 before it hits 58.69 again.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
There's still a 20% chance we could have some kind of rally out of here if they make a deal. But my guess is right now it's not. And I haven't even had a chance to get to all the news. But probably the worst thing that scares me right now is the bond auction today did not go well. And I haven't had enough time to dig through it. I know the bond auction information came out just when I started coming over here to the studio. Maybe I'll check in the den. Maybe some people have the actual output in it. Maybe if they put it in there. But it was not a good-looking chart at all. I mean, not chart, but good-looking auction at all. It was weak for the bonds. And this is TLT. Maybe we can see that in the chart today. I'll try to check that out during the break, and we'll come back. But TLT's filling its gap out here. In fact, I'm going to tell you, this is a good example. I'm going to show you something when we come back. You can also give me a call at 877-927-6648.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, we're going to go to a caller in just a minute, but I wanted to bring up this TLT chart because I just didn't see it until now. But this is a good example of an asymmetrical triangle that has gone to the end of its apex, and maybe I can explain it better. I don't have a chart tool to draw on this right at the moment. But if you look at the 127.72 high on TLT on August 31st and the 118.05 low on September 14th, and just draw a big greater than symbol out to the 6th of November. That's a pretty good example of seeing how these asymmetrical triangles start to have kind of a completion. Then they'll break. If it gets more than 3/4 into that triangle that you can make on a downslope and an upsloping line on it, normally it will, the first breakout is a false breakout to the wrong side, i.e. the longer term or path of least resistance. And I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. I've been waiting for some of these to really start showing up. But this is a good example of that one right now. What I'll do is mark this up and bring it on the show tomorrow so you can actually see it. I've been waiting for a few of these. But a very good example of a false breakout, especially with the light volume that you saw. That August 31st high had 9.1 million shares, and you had Pretty much gotten into that bar on November 16th with 5.5 million shares, and that was pretty much it. But a good example of that pattern working out. Anyway, we're going to Joseph in Bloomington, Mass. How you doing today, Joseph?
I'm doing good, David. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah. I just want to know when to get into UNG.
Right now, I do not like it, and there's a couple of reasons why. One is that you need a very cold winter to really start doing some drawdowns. Right now, there's no place to put natural gas, and it's going to continue to keep the pressure on that for a little while. I don't like the volume that we're seeing here as we get closer to this $17.89 low. It got up to about that $23 level. I think I sold it at about 22 bucks because we needed to get up there with some high volume, and it didn't over this last run. You had that 23.38 high, 15 million shares, and you got into it with about 5 million shares. A pretty good indication it was coming down, but organically, you've got just so much room to keep natural gas, and if you don't use it faster than you replace it, then the price of natural gas is going to go down. And that's what we've got now. We need a wicked minus 10-degree day in Cincinnati, minus 50-degree day in Wisconsin, and you just haven't gotten those. It's been, at least up to this point, a mild winter. And there's going to be a time, but this thing could actually come back a lot farther now. But right now, there's no place to put any natural gas from the reports that I've read, and that's going to continue to put a problem on it. And just the whole general market, from gold and silver and natural gas and any of the commodities, they've all been acting extremely weak here, which makes me think we've got a higher dollar coming. But we're going to, the next time I watch the Weather Channel and see a negative 15-degree day, then I'm going to really start looking at natural gas. But you probably have a good 45-day supply of natural gas. So even a cold day is not going to be enough right now to really get into the use of this. But, you want to look at $17.69 and how it comes into that low of August 28th. But I think there's probably a 90% chance we test that in the next few days.
Sure.
But you want to see less than 9 million shares. Right now, I would say there's probably a 75% chance that we at least come in there with the same volume. And that's just too much supply and not burning enough of it off because of a cold enough winter yet.
Thank you, David.
You bet.
Yeah.
It's hard to be long anything in this market. I know a lot of people probably going to yell and scream at me, but I just don't see anything in this market that really jumps out and says, I want to be hugely long. But anyway, I wanted to get back to some of my news. Let's see if we have it here. Anyway, we talked about Solar City, and one of the problems with this, you want to watch it closely, this IPO. And that's because right now they're getting about 30% of their money from subsidies from the government. In about a year and a half, that's going to go to about 10%. And the year after that, it will go away. If we hit the fiscal cliff, there will be zero subsidies for this. And this is why these guys pushed the hell out of this thing and got it out the door. So watch this one. If you want to think about a IPO that could go south in a hurry, if we hit the fiscal cliff and this subsidy, the solar subsidies, go up in a puff of smoke, watch for this thing to go down in a big flaming ball. They were on CNBC earlier today. It's kind of funny because they were trying to talk about the Solar City. All anybody wanted to talk about was the car company that Elon Musk has, and that's Tesla. So pretty interesting. Tesla took a pretty hard hit here today. It's down 6%. What else? They look like Star Trek guys. I didn't really think about that. Thanks to the Peanut Gallery, our wonderful engineer in there. But yeah, they are kind of Star Trek-y looking dudes, aren't they? And of course, he kind of looks like an alien anyway. I think he's from Russia. Anyway, Google Maps, just hours after the launch of Google Maps, it became the #1 download on Apple's App Store. I think the repercussions are still happening at Google Maps. Kind of ludicrous to think that they fired the guy that did Google Maps. They gave him 100 people and 6 months or 9 months to do what Google has done over 8 or 10 years with 7,000 people. I like to see the meeting where the guy sits down and goes, you're the new product manager for Apple Maps here. And I know Google's got 7,000 people, but you know what? I'm gonna give you 100 people, and I'm gonna give you 9 months to crank something out. And then I'm gonna fire you because you're probably the most likely guy to take my job when everything goes south here, as it probably will in Apple. But Google Maps is on the iOS, as they say these days, I think Google was having a fairly decent day earlier to Apple's rather poor day. Let me see if I've got still up $4, but still doing much better. I was asked in the middle of the summer, I think maybe August, with Steve Rhodes, we were sitting in for Tom O'Brien on a Friday, which company I would rather be in for the long term here. And Google is probably the best of the Apple, Microsoft, Google fan club, and probably still will, although I'm probably not going to be long any of them. I think there's better trades out there. But it kind of be interesting. Apple, probably the most disappointing. I think Apple's downfall was predictable. I think Microsoft's is somewhat questionable. They should have been able to do a much better job. I think the Ballmer as CEO is headed out the door there. MCP didn't have a very good day. I was very early on one of my first shows. We talked about MCP. I got long about $14, was out about 45, went to about 70. When I sold out, it was because I was scared to death. Saw the CEO out pumping, and not just pumping his stock, but pimping his stock, really pushing it. And anytime I see a CEO like that, especially on a new IPO, this scares the bejesus out of me. But I thought when we got back into about $10, it would be a nice little play out here. It got down to in the low 6s, but this CEO leaving probably means they've got bigger legal problems coming. Just keep an eye out for it. I don't think that anybody is going to let this company go out of business. I know somebody got into it like at around $10, called into the show one night when I was sitting in for Tom O'Brien, and it went down to about 6.5. If they would have sat on it, maybe they would have got their money back. This is going to be a tough one. And I think it's probably going to go sideways for 6 months, maybe 9 months. Could even go sideways for a year. But just keep an eye out on this. Its legal problems are going to continue on for a while. We did talk about gas prices out there. It was $3.02 today on the way at Thornton's, which I've never understood or never been in their place. And Sam's Clubs both had gas at $3.02. I'm still thinking that if they can afford to go after and sell gas at 10 cents, 15 cents a gallon loss, there must be an awful lot of gas out there. It's just beyond me to think that gas wars are back here. We did talk about it. I think that we're going to see $2.99 here fairly soon. And when we do, I will take a picture of it and post it here on the show. Samsung's coming out with a sequel to its Galaxy Note 2. The device is going to have a 6.3-inch display. Is it a phone or a tablet when it gets that big, even if you can talk on it? I'm thinking this thing it's kind of like it's probably going to be my thing. I won't have to carry a tablet and a phone, and I really don't care about having a big phone. As long as it'll fit in my jeans pocket, I'll be happy with the thing. And of course, I've got these little spectacles here for reading, and I hate anything. Maybe I can make the text big enough that I won't have to carry my glasses with me. That would be my dream. But that's pretty much what we have going on. I did want to get into what the options are showing us. I brought this up yesterday, and we still have a fairly good indication that the SPYs are going to try to expire somewhere around 140, 141 a week from tomorrow. And a fairly decent curve out here that shows that, we were up at about a little over $1 billion on the call side that was going to be made. And normally, about 85% of the time, you're going to get somewhere in between in the curve of both the winners and puts and calls. I've talked about that before. But we're getting into this level now. And if you have a stock that you want to take a look at what the options look at, you can give me a call. We'll bring it up, 877-927-6648. But I see right now a fairly decent indication. We're probably going to have a lot more weakness out here. What are we, 143? What do we have for the SPYs right now? SPY, bring it up here. And 142.43. We could get down to 141, 140 without a whole lot of problems. But we're down 0.7%. Not that big a deal. But keep an eye on that. I expect continued weakness in this market. I did want to go through a few stocks, and this is the one that scared me last night when I saw it, at least if I was going to be long. And that was Xilinx. Again, a fairly good indication of what the semiconductor holders are going to do. Xilinx, ZLNX, had a fairly decent indication. The last major high out here, $35.81, 4.4 million shares. And we went above it. We closed below it. About 2.5 million. What do we got today here? 1.5 million shares. We had about 1.8 million shares yesterday. Even the day before that, we had about 2.5. We were getting into that high on considerably lighter volume. Always a good indicator. Energy was not off all that extensively, but again, looks like a bigger trading range. This thing can get back down to $31.50 and just be in a bigger trading range. But I suspect that's what we're going to see in the SMHs too, is just a bigger trading range at the moment. This one looks like it got kind of into the previous high volume highs, but if you look at the last 10, 15 trading days on the SMHs, volume has just really fallen out compared to the late part of the summer, early run up here, and continues to be problematic. But you think you probably go down at least to about $31 here fairly quickly. Other stocks out here, Watson Pharmaceuticals, give a nice one. Nothing like testing a high on half the volume to get me excited about going short a stock. I don't know about Watson Pharmaceuticals, but another good one that's given a decent sell signal. The November 1st high at $90 with 2 million shares. You went over it with 39 cents. Closed below it. Decent sell signal. You're pulling back. This thing probably wants to come back and test about the $81 range. Not a bad little range on that one. Emerging markets, let's go to something else. Here's the pattern I've been trading for a while, and it's doing fairly good. This one hasn't flipped yet, but might be a good one to keep an eye on. Vistaprint, VPRT is the symbol for that. It came down on massive volume, got down to $28.17 on November 19th. You've kind of pulled back up in here and filled that gap, but there hasn't been a whole lot of energy to do so. So another nice trading range out here. Probably from that, probably it's high out here today, back out to $28. There are a lot of stocks out here that have these patterns or double testing high volume highs on 50% volume. Why I said yesterday the market looked kind of crashy to me. Anyway, we will be back in just a minute. Close up the show. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll you'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we're going to look at a couple more stocks. First one is Varium Medical Systems, VAR. Another one of these making a test of a higher volume high. In this case, January 12th high of 2012. $71.95, 1.4 million shares. What do we have over the last couple of days? 833,000 shares, 724,000 shares yesterday. Of course, we get the close back below that high today and a valid sell signal. Now, this thing took off with some high volume, so probably not one I want to short. But if you are thinking about going long, these are the times you need to start thinking, okay, how much of this gap is this thing going to fill? I mean, it took off like a rocket on 5 million shares. Is that thing going to get back to 64, 63? And maybe it takes, at least if I'm thinking my way, 30, 60 days to get the froth out of this market and maybe thinking long again. Maybe this is the one I want to keep on my radar down there at 62, 63. Probably dependent a lot on how the market turns, but how fast it fills that gap And if it comes back there on lighter volume, that could be a sweet little setup. Of course, it got up to $72. If you could get back into the 61, 62, a nice trade back up of the test of that 72, 61 would be rather sweet. I wanted to get an Apple before the end of the day. Take a look at this thing. You know, a lot of times things just don't happen instantly. And I put out a tweet last Friday to my subscribers in both the Tech Insider and the Path of Least Resistance newsletter. And, you know, I brought it up on Monday and Tuesday about them basically losing the what they call the Jobs patents, Steve Jobs patents, about multi-touch. And they actually lost another lawsuit about patents today or yesterday. It looks to me like these guys are going to be in tough trouble. This thing wants to come back and test and at least get back awful close to that 505. I think we're going to see that in the next few days. Oh, I wanted to actually, because I haven't had a chance to do it either. Let me get into this. I wanted to see where Apple's options say that they're going to go out, so I can actually bring that up. Let's see, AAPL. Hang on just a second. It's figuring it out as we speak. Okay. Well, actually, yeah, it's pretty close to where this thing wants to expire, at least for options. On Friday, it says this thing is going to expire back at 5:30. Wouldn't be surprised to see it go down there and test it on lighter volume, especially the last 2 or 3 days we have. So if this thing can get back into 510, 515, you'd want to be looking at it right then. Maybe you'll get the bounce back to 530 if you want a quick trade. But if this thing gets any kind of volume down at 505, we could see a lot weaker market out here. I keep on wondering what I would see if we do have final word on you know, just what would happen if someone came out and said, okay, we're going over the cliff, that's it. And, you know, no more discussion after that. How many points would we get down? Because I think that day's coming. Obama's leaving for his vacation tomorrow, so that'll be pretty tough. I had a question in here. Can you repeat your recommendation yesterday of the FiOS and that movie contact provider in beta? That was Coinstar. CSTR is the company, but it is Redbox, which is those little things in the grocery stores where you rent your DVDs out there. But it is Redbox. If you just Google Redbox I think that's it, Redbox. You'll probably see the article from yesterday and talking about its deal with Verizon and FiOS to distribute those movies. Anyway, we're going to have a safe and wonderful evening. We will see you tomorrow. Later on, dudes and dudettes.